The Wild Endurance Team Challenge is to raise money for the Wilderness Society. It's also a good opportunity to test your own ability and team building skills, and that was one of the reasons we went in. It was environment is what we do a lot of. We're out in the riding mountain bikes and hiking, and we thought, oh well, tie that in with raising money for the environment would be a good challenge, and away we went.
In the Wild Endurance event, there were 112 teams that were registered. That's broken up into 72 teams of 4 that had to complete the full 100-kilometre course together as teams, and the rest were made up of 6 members that were relay teams. So 3 people did first 50 kilometres, 3 did the second 50. Out of that, we came 13th overall out of the 72 teams that were in the 4-member team event, and 3rd overall women's team.
I searched the net trying to find an event that is a little bit testing. We found the event. We thought, oh, okay, 4 people we need. So we roped in a couple of friends from Sydney, showed them the pretty brochures and how good it looked. So they were easily led. It wasn't until after they got home and started to research the actual event that they went, this is going to be a bit of a stretch. But as it turned out, everyone had a great time. The girls in particular from Sydney, being from Sydney, sort of didn't have the opportunity of the training that we did. But to their credit, they pushed through, and we all had a great time. And they were very pleased that they were sucked in by the glossy brochure, and they're looking forward to next year.
Obviously did have a support team. It was actually compulsory throughout the event when you're doing the 100 kilometres. Our support team was 2 good friends of ours, Angela and Leah. They basically had to be at each checkpoint where they were almost like a Formula 1 pit crew. They were so quick. We'd arrive there, they'd have all our chairs out, they'd have water bottles, fresh clothes, fresh shoes, socks, food ready. They were just wonderful. We wouldn't have been able to get through it, I think, as well or as quickly as we did without their help.
Teresa and I and the girls, Robin and Lorna from Sydney, we've sort of got a little bit of base of fitness. We do a lot of cycling and running. But the tips that we got from people that had done it in the past was you just need to walk. You need to spend time on your feet, hours on your feet. So we'd put our packs on, and Mount Ainslie, we'd spend quite a bit of time up at Mount Ainslie, Mount Tennant. We did the Corn Trail a couple of weeks out, which was a 7-hour 30k hike, which was very testing. But I think that put us in good stead to be able to go the distance. So you can be fit. You know, I've heard of marathon runners sort of going in these events and struggling because they're just not used to the time on your feet. But yeah, just put a pack on and just walk. Just basically walk.
Well, I think each section had its own challenges. It was broken up into 4 sections of different lengths, and at each of those end of those sections there was a checkpoint. At first we thought, the first section's going to be the hardest. We actually had to climb a ladder that had been specially erected up a cliff face to get to the top of that, to be on the top of the valley there. Some very, very decent long climbs, just kilometres and kilometres of ascending out of valleys, a few little river crossings. Some very steep descents as well. Some of it was on single track, some on fire trail, others graded trails, or actually a lot of the tourist walks throughout the mountains. They incorporated those as well. But I think each section had its challenges. We were walking obviously through the night as well, so that in itself posed challenges in terms of making sure you had the right equipment, and obviously motivating yourself to keep walking throughout the night as well.
I enjoy working within a team, but it did have its challenges, definitely. Different levels of fitness, different times where you struggled. Lorna struggled at about the 65k mark, and to be honest, I didn't think we were sort of going to be able to keep going. But to her credit, she soldiered on, and we sort of kept up the water and food to her and kept her moving. And then at the 80k mark, my feet decided that they'd had enough, and they started to blister and lost a couple of toenails. And then the girls sort of rallied to get me going again. So it definitely has its challenges, but it certainly has its rewards. Crossing the line as a group was certainly a big achievement, which we all were very proud of. I was sort of part of the Sportsman's Warehouse group, and we're involved in the sporting goods industry, and I shot emails out to the trade, I guess, and the support was overwhelming. They, heavily supported the event. It's not the first time. A few years ago I raised money for the Leukaemia Association, and again the sporting goods industry we raised over $10,000. So they came forth. We also, from an individual point of view, we held a bit of a dinner party, and I think we ended up we raising $500. I think we sort of drank most of that in wine, but it was a really fun night, and the whole team raised, and Teresa raised in excess of $1,000.
We were just really overjoyed the time that we did it in. I mean, that was our sort of stretch ultimate goal, but we had reassessed that and thought, we need to get across the line as a team, and if it takes us 28, 30 hours, then so be it. But as Michelle said, the whole team just rallied, and we worked really well together, and we actually met and beat our stretch goal, 23 hours, 23 minutes. And afterwards, hindsight's a lovely thing, but I think there are sections we could do better in. Our checkpoint stops probably could have been a bit shorter. So I think the plan at this stage is have another go next year, and we hope to do it under 20 hours and maybe be the top women's team. That's if Lorna and Robin want to have another shot at it. But I think that's probably the goal at this stage, have another go at it, because it was a lot of fun and pain as well. But it was good.